Okay, we are recording this and live with Sarah Troupe. Did I say that correctly? Great. And we're going to discuss her ServiceNow journey and discuss a little bit about her. We're going to get to know her. We got a bit of an introduction here to cover as well. We actually have our first person who's returning to the second episode. So thank you for showing up on that one. And a couple a couple old friends, Glenn and Corbin, have joined as well. So thank you so much for this. For those of you listening in afterwards, we appreciate you taking the time to walk this step of the journey with us. We're going to have several episodes here as we walk through this, and let's just get going. So briefly again, my name is Chris Shu. I'm kind of known as the ServiceNow magician. I'm a ServiceNow certified master architect. I was in the January cohort of 2023, and I passed my board exam in June of 2023. I've got a couple suite certifications and some mainline ones, and my main focus is to deliver ServiceNow solutions that work just like magic. So here's a bit of the agenda. We're going to run through each of these things with you. So let's start off with just getting to know Sarah. So can you tell us a little bit about yourself personally and go ahead. Oh, I think you're mute. Sorry, let me just unmute you. I asked.
Thank you.
Sorry. Thank you.
Yes.
I'm new to Zoom, so I apologize.
That's okay. Yeah, so I've been I would say just in the ServiceNow ecosystem for the last 2 years, just really getting my certification and just growing as much as I can in ServiceNow. I'm a mother of three. I have a about to be 17-year-old, an 8-year-old, and a 6-year-old, and I stay busy. So
I'll bet. What do you like to do in your spare time, if you have any with 3 kids?
yeah, I do. Um, honestly, I do a lot. I like to clean on the side. I own my own business back, I guess, been 4 years ago, but now I just kind of do it as a hobby and kind of therapeutic, I guess.
Oh, that's great. Okay, so let's get into some of your previous ServiceNow experience. I understand that you are a ServiceNow Next Gen instructor, but you
Yes.
may have arrived there in a unique way.
Yes. So I guess it was back in 2020. Jeremy Duncan kind of approached me about going kind of into the tech field and introduced me to ServiceNow and just really coached me and walked me through the um, how to do that. And that's been before the Rise Up and the Next Gen classes. So it was just kind of the fundamentals of being a certified system admin. So I challenged myself to get it done, and I finally passed my exam. And I was presented with I guess, the opportunity really to just be a next gen instructor. And it really it helped me because I didn't have videos and I didn't have an instructor and all that during my time of learning ServiceNow. So, I mean, I feel like it helped me to be able to present and help the students learn.
That's a great point. Jeremy's a great guy. First
Yes.
thing, I bumped into him in knowledge, and of course
Mhm.
of last year, and look forward to seeing him again this year. Uh, when I started with ServiceNow, also was no next gen program or any of that stuff. We really had just the courses available and then
Yes.
peers of the community. And I relied heavily on that. Yeah, not to date myself a little bit, but you could
Mhm.
actually order books. Like the material was sent to you in this large, I don't even know how to say it, but it was kind of like a notebook that you could get for
Yes.
the Helsinki release of ITSM or whatever that course was. So it's nice to see how much the community has grown, and it's nice to see how much
Yes.
ServiceNow is invested into developing people and providing the items that you need or the artifacts, the courses, and
Yes.
then the community can support with that.
Yeah,
So
and I will say in the last year, I mean, it's drastically changed, and I think it's really great for the students coming in. Like they can learn service now in like real world to be able to go and get a job. So,
that's awesome. So as that next gen instructor, can you describe a bit of detail or expand on kind of what some of the day-to-day things are that you cover, or like what skills would I get if I was a next gen student?
you would get the I guess the experience of being in doing the live demos, being able to walk through that with the instructor, making sure that you understand the fundamentals of being a system admin. Just I, I see it as like a an overview, and just being able to navigate, the dashboard, going into reports, the security level of access, things like that. And just being able to understand like the list and um, how you can give permissions to different things. I mean, that's just being able to do that alone really helps you out when you're going into the field.
Yes, definitely. And it's important to note that everybody goes through this part of the journey
Yes.
because we all were at a point where we've never even heard of ServiceNow, and that's myself included.
Yes.
So if you're currently at that stage, if you're listening in and you're currently at the stage of, I just am learning the platform from the ground up, please realize that you're in the exact position that I was in, that Sarah was in, that everybody in the ecosystem was in. And it's important to be patient and learn at the pace that you can to make sure you grasp those materials. I'm just going to touch back on the one piece you talked about with which was the admin piece, and that was how I started in my ServiceNow journey, was as an administrator, and uh, I'd been learning how to do that first upgrade or manage the patches and things like that. So do you touch on those aspects like skip changes and things like that in the next gen program?
Not really. It's
Mhm.
mostly just kind of, I feel like it's just an overview to be able to get your certification for a system admin. And it does hit on like CMDB, things like that.
Mhm.
And being able, I mean, at the end of the course, they were able to create a company and, do the basic things.
Okay. Oh, that's great. So next gen, then you're saying seems to feed into that CSA certification or certified
Yes, yes.
system administrator.
Yes,
Great.
that's what I went over. There is other programs that are more advanced to get different certifications after
Mhm.
that. I know the veterans boot camp, that's one of them that really propels people, but
Mhm.
this is just a free course that focuses on the CSA exam and making sure that you understand the concepts of those to take the exam.
Great. Okay. So thank you for giving back and helping people in the community as that next gen instructor. It's so important to have people guide everybody
Yes.
that's net new. So thank you for that,
Yes.
from not just myself, but the entire community. I think we can all agree
It was
on
a great
that.
experience.
Would you do it again?
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay.
Yes.
How did you become the this next gen instructor? Like, is there an application process? How does that work?
Yes, Jeremy again tagged me in a post from Herb. I don't remember his last name.
Herb Thompson?
Yes, that is
Yeah.
correct. And he was just looking for certified CAs to be able to teach the class, and I kind of went through um, the how to present things like that and what I'd be doing um, in like a couple weeks, and I was picked for one of them.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
amazing.
And there was like 35 starting out in my cohort. And I think we ended with like maybe 27, 28, something like
Hmm.
that. So not a lot of people stopped coming. A lot of them were um had family emergencies.
Oh, well, that's never a good reason to have to stop, but ultimately
Yeah.
family would have to come first. So
Yeah.
can
And they can
definitely.
always, if the time's not right, they could always rejoin. So
Oh, that's good. I'm glad that ServiceNow is kind of flexible to life changes and life needs.
absolutely.
So that's nice to hear. Okay, so that's a great thing that you're doing. I really appreciate it. Again, let's move into talking about some of the skills and the experience you have on building with the platform or administering the platform. Can you share a bit about that?
Well, I will say that it's probably just as much as just the CSA exam and knowing how to do the basic things. I haven't really had experience going in there into the like real world and being able to, do help desk things and different roles like that.
Well, and that's okay. So, like this, the purpose of your journey is to get to that first admin role. So,
Yes.
when you say things like you've got the CSA skill set or the, the things you've learned in next gen. So, what types of tasks can you execute on now? And then I'll ask you a follow up on what you're hoping to learn in the near term.
Um, I would probably say now that I went like as an instructor, I feel like I can better operate like the knowledge bases and being able to create um, like an actual company
Hmm.
and just knowing the knowledge from that and roles and um, really just like the business rules and how to apply those and I mean different things like that. It's just
Okay.
so
Okay, no, that's great. So, the business rule management is is an important part of the platform. It's something that I use every day. That's an important part of the implementer journey. Knowledge management is an excellent tool in the platform that allows us to really effectively distribute and consolidate knowledge into one place and then just distribute it out to people that need to consume it. So having those skill sets will definitely help you along this journey. So now let's talk about what you're. Oh, did you have something? Yeah,
oh yeah, I was gonna say
go
just
ahead.
the ability to really go in there and teach the material as well. That for 2 hours I was online teaching and just really answering questions and things that I didn't know, like problem solving, everything that has to do with technology, trying to set up Zooms and just their questions when something didn't work out like that. That was a big aspect of being able to teach as well.
Yes, definitely. And once you're at that level where you're able to teach, that really demonstrates a true mastery of the subject. So that's going to definitely help you when it comes to taking this journey.
Yes.
So let's discuss a bit about your desired next role. And this is going to be not just the title, because I think we know that that is the ServiceNow admin title that you're looking for. But what types of things do you want to do day to day? What types of things do you want to do maybe once a quarter or once a month? What types of responsibilities do you want to have in terms of your ServiceNow role?
I would say my final step would be in the HR role. Um, Definitely from my experience being in HR the last couple years, I feel like I want to land in a position where I can go into knowledge bases, make sure that even the lower level employees understand, benefits, PTO, if they have any issues with logging into the apps, just really just all aspects of HR. I don't mind starting out in like a help desk atmosphere of doing like just solving problems and taking care of people. I very much like to help people. And really, I just really want people to um, use the process of ServiceNow. A lot of the companies that I've interviewed with say that they're not utilizing ServiceNow to their full potential. And I want to be able to help people see that potential and be able to save their employees time and money.
Oh, that's excellent. So it sounds like you're kind of in the ITSM product suite, which
Yes.
would cover knowledge management incidents and things like
Yeah.
that. And then also, I heard HRSD in there.
Mhm.
So that's a good part to, or a good thing to understand as we kind of build the plan for your journey and kind of refine it as well.
Yes.
Okay. So let's also talk now about your resume. So we're going to set up, you and I, a separate session
Hmm.
that won't be recorded or publicized at all to kind of review your resume. We're going to take a snapshot of it,
Okay.
and then we're going to make some change. We'll see if what changes we want to make together, and then we're going to have the before and after picture, and
Okay.
that'll be the focus of the next session near the end of next month. So keep an eye out for the LinkedIn event for this one as well. And if you're comfortable, and you're free to change your mind, and we no one will be upset. If you're comfortable, we'll share the resume without any personal information or anything along that line,
Okay.
just to kind of help people guide understand the journey and understand maybe what they need to do with their resume to help them get this role. There's a lot of people I know that are looking to move into that first role, and sometimes catching that first fish is the hardest. And once you kind of get that real world experience, it can get easier. So trying to help everyone rise up, not to
Yes.
borrow their
Mhm.
term, is going to make sure that we kind of deliver everything as we want to contribute to the community as much as we can. So
Yes.
look for that,
Okay.
um, in the next episode, and you and I will discuss that offline, for the timing of it. So now the next step is knowledge and skills. So we've already covered, where you're at, your existing skill set and your existing knowledge. Uh, you're kind of more advanced, honestly, than I was when I kind of first moved in. So that's a good thing,
It's good to know.
right? So yeah, and part of the whole journey along this is going to be recognizing, this is for everybody, not just Sarah,
Absolutely.
that we were all at the stage where we'd never heard of ServiceNow. There was only one person that was there from the beginning, and that was Fred Luddy. So,
Mhm.
we want to make sure that we we're kind to ourselves and honest where we're at, so that we can make a plan that makes sense to move forward. And we want to
Absolutely.
make sure that next step is a reasonable one. We don't want to stare at the top of the mountain. We want to maybe look at the next step, and then maybe look at getting to base camp. You don't climb Everest in a day. So that's kind of the approach we're going to take. So we know your knowledge and your skills, but let's talk about if there's any knowledge or skills that you feel you need to develop or gain to kind of help you become more competitive in that job market.
Yes. So right off the bat, I would say just being able to communicate what I've done in ServiceNow, just how my current role applies to ServiceNow, because there is things that overlap, but being able to explain that and communicate that to the people that I'm interviewing with, that has been probably my biggest struggle over the last, 6 months.
Okay. So what can you describe a bit about your current role, and please know that it can be just general stuff. Like you don't
Yeah,
have to.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So I'm a security coordinator and kind of HR liaison type field. I There's about 45, 55 officers that I kind of oversee as far as project management, payroll. Um, I do schedules. I do a lot of kind of admin things. I do, let's see, onboarding. I've hired probably over 60 officers in the last 2 years. And so I'm kind of in an HR field, but also I'm like have my hand in the ACC, the Access Control Coordinator, as well as training. We've really just perfected that, coming on board in the process that it was. So those things overlap. I also was for 8 years, I was also in the title field, so I understand like banking and the process of getting people closed. So I have an array of experience that falls into ServiceNow, but just being able to communicate that has been my issue.
Okay, and that's going to be something, yes, that we'll definitely focus on because some people are in the same boat that you're in, where they're not in IT, but they want to make that first uh, IT change or move into that industry. So we'll work on aligning some of the skills that
Mhm.
you've got and then being able to translate it into ServiceNow language.
Yes.
And then also, how do we communicate the value and get that on the resume in a way that's going to resonate with some of the hiring managers? We
Yes.
also are planning to have some guest hosts on this future episodes, and they're going to be people that are hiring for these types of roles or can help advise hiring managers in that way. We'll also talk about, recruiters. When is the, good time to use them, and if that's an avenue that you're willing to go down. And then, yeah, I'd like to move into then the target companies because this is going to impact some of the knowledge and the skill stuff that we work on in the near term. So can you describe what kind of target company you're looking for to work for? And there's a few options. So, you've got some government agencies and things like that, but then there's security clearances that may be required.
Mhm.
There are partners from small partners to large ServiceNow partners. And then there's also ServiceNow customers who need that day-to-day administration. So can you describe kind of what you're looking for from a target company perspective?
I would probably say either the partners or just maybe us. I'm not opposed to like smaller or larger companies. I feel like larger companies probably need someone to be able to, you know ServiceNow, the ins and out, to be able to utilize it for their employees. But the smaller ones, I feel like a lot of them need like the day to day. So, I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to anyone, um, large or small.
Okay, that's great. And I think there's benefits and there's drawbacks to
Yes.
everything. So when we're looking at a large company, sometimes they're more willing to take on a junior person because there's a team that can train them. And sometimes if you're in a smaller one, you'd be the only person. So you can kind of be on your own island, if for lack of a better term. So yeah, we'll definitely use that information to refine our plan and define our next steps. And then we're always going to kind of apply the agile framework even to this journey and be willing to pivot as we need to. So perhaps there's a
Absolutely.
big shift in the market or something. We'll want to make sure that we want to cover that. Okay, well, this has been great so far. Did you have any questions for me or anything that you wanted to understand or discuss while we're here?
I would just say that a lot of people in my cohort and people that I know that are, that have their CSAs, it's the experience that is get holding them up. I feel like in the job market, and a lot of people are not going after target roles. They're just applying, applying, applying. So, I mean, I would definitely one of the suggestions that I would say is figure out where you want to land. If you want to land in sales with ServiceNow, if you want to do HR, anything like that. So you have a specific need and you can focus on that and go out there and look at the descriptions of their needs to, to be able to apply to your resume.
That's great advice. Thanks for bringing that up. And that
Mhm.
reminds me of someone else I've kind of been working with. And this is a person who comes from a project management background, but also has a lot of technical experience and some certifications. So he was trying to land either type of job. So ServiceNow product manager or a project manager
Mhm.
in ServiceNow, or even an implementer. So that had us actually create two resumes. One focused on the PM skill set that was focused to ServiceNow, and one that was focused on the implementer side of things, and that adjusted not just the content, but the order in which we presented it.
Absolutely.
So we'll be covering that. Okay. So are there any other questions or things that you need from me for this next step?
Not at this time.
Okay, well, I think it's been great. Thank you so much
Absolutely. Thank
for
you.
being a part of this. We've got our closing remarks, and just want to say thank you to everybody else for joining and for listening in. If you're listening afterwards, we really appreciate your time, and we look forward to talking with you soon and taking the next step on this journey. Okay, well,
Absolutely.
thank
Thank you.
you. Have a great day, everybody.
All right.